ruin the history of everything doesn't turn into this or this, it turns into this! I'm trying my best not to make a repeat of last year. I'm trying my best not to explode into another money rant. You're not gonna make me do it again. I've been the digital pioneer. Hey, Sakurai! No! Hey, Nintendo! I guess it's a tradition now. Yes, like anyone else this side of the planet, I am just departing from the Gamer Christmas hype train, and you know what? It was a fun ride, I gotta say. Did it beat last year's E3? Well, considering what you guys value, the answer is debatable. Hell, I'm still unsure about how I can compare the 2 years of conferences. Sure, some of the games they announced were phenomenal, but the conferences themselves...
Let's play!
Last year, I went over my favorite announcements from one portion of the entire group of presenters. While Nintendo did have plenty to offer, and by that I mean a lot to offer, everyone else had their fair share of games that I'm looking forward to, so I thought to expand the list and criteria for this year. Like last year, it doesn't matter when these games were announced, so long as it gets me excited. That's all that matters, basically. Unlike last year, I'm not going to include Smash on the list because, well, it was kinda #1 last year, and I kinda spent 15 minutes talking about it last time. So to compensate, I'll give my reaction to the recently announced newcomers. Hey, you hear that, Goku fans? Your prayers have been answered! About freaking time, Sakurai, but I guess it's nice. You know, it's funny. I just went back from a con with a Pac-Man themed mug, and all of a sudden, he's in Smash now! I mean, like, what a coincidence. I mean, the anime con's confirmed. I mean, like, what, is this a real life or is it a fantasy? You know, I don't care. Let's go. Video games! Out of all 5 conferences at E3 this year, Ubisoft was, in my opinion, the worst. Basically, Ubisoft filled in most of the spaces of our bingo cards. Aisha Taylor's attempts at her hardcore humor came off as just plain silly. The memes came back, so much Assassin's Creed and some other boring fitness game. The only good that came out of the conference are the Valiant Hearts trailer, which my friend compared that emotion to his feelings of the disappointment of Ubisoft, and the Far Cry 4 trailer they showed us was pretty good, actually. Essentially, what Ubisoft showed us was nothing too interesting until the new villain walked up the scene and does the following. Kills one of his own men for quote-unquote failing to follow your orders, recognizes the protagonist's eyes, hugs him, and takes a selfie. Oh yeah, and he's voiced by Troy Baker as well, so Villain of the Year. Thankfully, we got another glimpse of Far Cry 4 when Sony came along to show us actual gameplay. We have a taste of the absolute phenomenal scenery. I mean, whoa! We also got to experience shooting and vehicle segments, as well as a taste of what the co-op is like. Ironically, my favorite part of what was featured isn't the shooting, not the vehicles, not the scenery, not even the villain. My favorite part is actually the freaking elephants! Upon seeing the carnage, they go absolutely ballistic and launch a guy in the air with its trunk, stomp a guy to death, and run straight into a moving vehicle, causing it to explode, and it's just fine. Far Cry 4 is the best elephant simulator. Now can we give the horse the titanium treatment? Okay, just hear me out on this. Now, it's not that I've never wanted to play Xenoblade Chronicles, far from it. Believe me, I hang out with Cortigai pretty often. Here's the thing, though. No GameStop I live by has any copies in stock, not to mention that Amazon sells them for buckets of money, and since 9 times out of 10 I have less than $20, yeah. That said, I might not buy Xenoblade Chronicles X on the day of its release, but I'm liking what I see if you couldn't tell by my rambling in the beginning of this segment. I like X's art design more than its predecessor. Some of the models in Chronicles looked but in X, everything shown looks absolutely amazing, and it's animated pretty phenomenally as well. This game allows for near complete character customization, and if you're anything like me, we would do some, nefarious things with this option. What's the premise? Well, Earth is basically a battlefield for various species of aliens, so in order to seek freedom and comfort, the heroes are set to put an end to these wars. The overall gameplay of X is similar to its predecessor, except now it features more Trigun mechs for its transportation. In combat, like Xenoblade, you can perform various skills, or arts, which do not only have varying effects, but are customizable. What can I say? It's not like there's no reason as to why I want to play this game. Happy now? Man, flame soldiers are getting better weaponry. Who likes parkour? Alright, who likes combat? Okay, who likes women? Sweet. I enjoy playing Mirror's Edge quite a bit. You have no clue how long I wanted to play a parkour game because, well, have you seen me? You know, saying that I'm an athlete is like saying that Ganon is a good tennis player or something. You know, that guy should do something easier, like badminton. So it's about freaking time Mirror's Edge gets a sequel, or according to the developers, a prequel. Unlike its predecessor, Mirror's Edge 2 puts more focus on other aspects you wouldn't have focused quickly on the original. For one, not only will you be hopping around various buildings and obstacles, this game will have an added focus on combat, allowing you to throw quick punches and kicks at random mooks. As if she wasn't awesome enough, the protagonist, Faith, will also have some focus in this iteration, mostly explaining why she's her parkouring, eye-tattooed waifu symbol self. I have one big concern though. Since this is a first-person game, how the hell are you supposed to immerse yourself into a game where you are learning so much information about the protagonist? You know what, that argument is stupid anyway. You do realize that the extra features to our quote-unquote empty slate is that we can do or be something you aren't. You know, the entire reason we play video games? Yeah, I devoted part of my script for that. I don't have any way to explain how hype this is. Just watch.
Finish him. Fatality.
So adding to the roster, we have a scantily clad Tinkerbell and Nunu from League of Legends. Now this game doesn't really have an official title yet, but for what we've seen, hey, it's enough to be on this list. Okay, now how's this for a concept? What would happen if you take the open world of games like, say, Skyrim, and put Zelda on it? A screenshot and a small teaser trailer. I've been waiting for this for a while. Think about it. Zelda games did have vast worlds to explore, but more often than not, you were on a set path on what bosses you can fight, what treasures you can obtain, or even the side quests that are available to you. So, reworking the traditional Zelda formula for a non-linear adventure at the expense of tool restrictions to do anything you desire, I'm just amazed that Nintendo finally has this kind of technology. Also, one more thing that reminds me about Nintendo being the biggest tease in the universe. One of the producers for the new Zelda title said in an interview that this so-called Link couldn't be Link at all because no one explicitly said that it's Link. Can't be an Ninty trailer without the visual cock tease now, isn't it? Okay, before you even attempt to kill me, which won't happen, hear me out on this. Now, I know Call of Duty isn't for everyone. Hell, I even shrugged it off before. But a gameplay trailer of Advanced Warfare basically told me that Activision doesn't really care. I mean, out of every COD game moment so far, aside from that space scene from Ghosts, this has to be the most unrealistic thing so far. And I don't mean that to be a bad thing. How? How about we have our soldiers survive falling from the sky into a skyscraper, and have the main protagonist rip out a door from a car and use it as a shield? Video games. The other main gimmick is that all of your weapons are futuristic to the point of having ammo counts on your guns and having Spartan lasers. What is with this unrealistic crap in a war zone? Regardless for the lack of realism, I'm not for hating it. If anything, I've been waiting on this kind of game from COD. If this game is any good, I'll give the franchise a second chance, and I think you guys should too. So there you go. You still hate me? Nope, still can't kill me. Love me again? Before you ask, no, I have not played the original Bayonetta yet. But before you tell me that I should play it before I get too excited for a sequel, for one, that's idiotic. Second of all, how rude. Third, Bayonetta 1 is bundled with Bayonetta 2, so there. So our sexy hair mistress is in for another adventure, this time on a Nintendo console only. And if you can't tell from games like Mad World and No More Heroes, I doubt Nintendo's focusing on a single demographic. Bayonetta 2, as far as I know, follows the story and gameplay from its predecessor. Bayonetta is off to fight off angels and over-the-top action, and if you know Platinum games, this is a standard. Bayonetta is a bit different from the usual action. Okay, it's not saying much, but just go with it. Bayonetta is a witch. So in this case, she has magic. Not only can she activate a witch time by dodging to slow down enemies to maneuver easily, but she also has summons, high heels that can also function as guns, and torture attacks in which... So as you can tell, this game is a giant slap to the face to the, religious people. Okay, as a Christian myself, I don't care, I like action! Oh yeah, and to remind you that this is a Nintendo exclusive, the original Bayonetta has not only been remade, but packed with skins of Peach, Link, and Samus. Oh wait, did I just say just skins?
You can go another round, can't you?
Seriously though, do you still hate me? I love ROM hacks. I guess that's mostly because it's nice to see the different trains of thought that fans have that you probably wouldn't see officially. See Pokemon Snakewood for more details. However, Nintendo, from what I can gather, is starting to acknowledge the ROM hacking community and is releasing their own game in which you can customize your own levels. Now there's not too much to say here because, well, what you're seeing here is what we're getting. We can place blocks, pipes, platforms, enemies, whatever. However, there is an added texture feature that lets you switch between the classic 8-bit style of Super Mario Bros. And the HT style of the new Super Mario Bros. U. I just hope that there will be DLC containing other textures like Mario 3 and Mario World. One last thing, if this game decides to have like online functionality where you can submit your own levels online, I weep for those that have to deal with Kaizo levels. It's gonna happen. And to think there's still a good chunk of this world that still hates Toad. Out of all the levels from Super Mario 3D World, the Captain Toad levels are the most underutilized as far as I know. Here are the things that set the Captain Toad levels apart from the normal levels. Captain Toad is not fast, nor is he strong, and the icing on the cake, he can't jump. So Captain Toad sounds like a little wuss now, doesn't he? Well, you'd think that if it weren't for the fact that this guy's got guts. What makes these levels truly great are, well, the levels themselves. They've been designed around the Captain Toad's character design as puzzle platforming levels. And apparently, Nintendo liked the concept so much that there's going to be a whole game about this, and I'm excited. In Treasure Tracker, there's a lot more emphasis on the puzzle part of the platform levels. You can't just go running around like an idiot trying to satisfy your Goomba killing fetish. Instead, you gotta take it slow. Also, there are many secrets in each level containing hidden locations and Chaos Emeralds. Identified by, get this, changing the camera. Oh yeah, this game has boss battles. Just take that in.
That is so adorable! Okay, Ty. You're here to talk about video games, not to squee. Okay. Now where were we?
Kirby's Epic Yarn was fun and all, but, I mean, it was easy. I mean, really easy. Getting 100% was a different story, but playing through the main levels was a little cakewalk. Despite this, I really enjoyed Epic Yarn, actually. So to have a yarn-based game featuring Yoshi is a game you would expect to put a smile on your face just by having it in your game library. So what sets this game apart from Epic Yarn? Well, more than you'd think. First off, you have a health bar. Yeah, freaking health bar. Something that Epic Yarn was really lacking. If it's not obvious enough, Yoshi's Woolly World plays more like a Yoshi game. You can swallow enemies to turn them into eggs, or in this case, you can unravel various yarn blocks and enemies with your tongue and use them as projectiles. Also, this game has co-op. In co-op, you can swallow your friend and use him/her as a projectile to damage enemies, get them to other areas, or simply play Smash Brothers. Oh, this game is so adorable! They could have made Yoshi out of a single strand of yarn like they did with Kirby, but that would just be too easy. They went the extra mile and made actual yarn plushies out of Yoshi's, enemies, everything.
Can you really blame me for fangasming?
Here we are with another game that I'm mostly excited for because community results. However, this game allows for way more creative possibilities than Mario Maker. You see, Mario Maker lets you make levels. Project Spark, on the other hand, lets you do damn near anything. Project Spark is a little canvas to make your own games, movies, and other experiments. Not only can you create content, but you can download user-submit levels and even remix it. Oh, great, we're gonna have Project Spark poops.
Now that just sounds awful.
Also, the Kinect will finally have a good function that will allow you to record audio and even animate models. And this was announced after Microsoft confirmed that the Kinect was Xbox One. Well, Project Spark is also available on Windows, giving people even less motivation to buy an Xbox One.
Microsoft, can you, try to think?
Regardless, I cannot wait to get my hands on Project Spark. Not only can you make your own games, but I imagine a lot of machinimas or even web series is taken off. I'm also curious to see what other experiments this community will think of. Maybe we'll see actual pop songs charting in top 10s. Maybe official game developers will find their true spark,
so to speak,
with this game. Maybe we'll conquer?
Uh-oh. Why do comedic videos always have to have crap running indoors?
Considering the amount of time Nintendo spent during their Treehouse event by demonstrating a game like Splatoon to the masses, I'm guessing Nintendo really likes this game, and to be honest, I do too. Seriously, this game looks freaking beautiful. Splatoon is about 2 teams of 4 human squid hybrids facing off in a paint gun war. Whichever team covers the most territory with paint is deemed the winner. Speaking of the combatants, they hold paint guns that shoot out, yes, in a wide area. These paint colors come out in few varieties as of now, but I'm sure we'll get more colors. By the way, considering that 2 of the combatants have 2 long ponytails, when you choose the cyan ink, you get to play as, oh my dear lord, it's Hatsune Miku.
I'm not apologizing.
Anyways, the ink that is splattered on the floors cannot be traversed by the enemy team so easily. Speaking of the ink, you don't have unlimited ammo. To refill, you have to transform into a squid and go inside your ink. This also gives you high maneuverability, making it harder for your foes to shoot you. The real core of this game revolves around strategy. There are many things you have to take into account in order to seize victory. You have to consider what areas have been covered in ink so you can either replenish ammo or cover your own, what areas aren't covered in ink so you can cover it yourself, your allies' location so you can immediately jump to their location for backup, your environment so you can use it to your advantage, and overall not being a complete idiot. This game may look silly, but hey, I've been wanting a paintball commando game for a while, so there's not too much to say as why this game is so high. Oh yeah, and one more thing. Now, how's this for a concept? What if you took games like Dynasty Warriors and Sengo?
Okay, you get the idea. I'm just copying pasting my old script just to waste time. You know it's Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, I know, it's weird that the developers for Zelda games nowadays are doing things you wouldn't really see within the main series Zelda games before, but regardless, it's nice to see a fresh new taste on the Zelda world. If it weren't obvious already, Hyrule Warriors plays much like a Dynasty Warriors game, which you hack and slash your way through hundreds, maybe thousands of pathetic mooks backed up by particle effect maelstroms. As you can see here, Koei likes to make Dynasty Warriors-esque games. Lots and lots and lots, but they made it to pleasure the Zelda enthusiasts by keeping elements from those games. The plot of Hyrule Warriors is, get this, Zelda is captured. The perpetrator of this round is Boobs McFanservice, aka Shia. But this quote-unquote villain isn't all bad according to the wikis, that is. Shia Ding Dong over here is actually in love with our protagonist. Not only that, but she captured Zelda because Sheepers Creepers has a rising jealousy over Zelda's familiarity with Link. You know, people say villains seeking to resurrect Ganon is a tired concept.
You know, I'll be honest, I miss Ganon. I mean, I want to make myself feel like the better tennis player again.
Like the Dynasty Warriors series, Hyrule Warriors features a bunch of playable characters. As of now, we only have 4 confirmed. Link, Zelda, Impa, and Midna. I mean, do I really need to explain any further excitement for this game? I mean, look at this! Look at that! Feast your eyes on this!
If I argue for that, I'm a pervert apparently. If I argue against that, I'm gay apparently. I love the world! Remember in the Project Spark segment where I was contradicting the Xbox One's future sales? Yeah, about that.
Can you survive the many dangers? Can you help others survive? Can you save Sunset City? Can you? For the love of God, can you? Of course you can. It's a f***ing video game.
Because the world likes murdering zombies.
But in all seriousness, Microsoft somehow managed to set their A game this year, showing games where people actually want. Usually. But easily Microsoft's best moment was showing footage of a little zombie slaying game called Sunset Overdrive. Now, zombie can be used a little loosely. These guys aren't really zombies, but mostly like mutated humans because they drank too much of an energy drink. There are survivors, but, well, most of them are dicks anyway, so yeah. Now I can go on about how crazy the Dead Rising-esque combat is, the beautiful visuals, or other tropes I mentioned in this countdown before, but my overall excitement for this game can be summed up by this guy, who I'm gonna call Yuri because, well, guess. Just how awesome is this guy? Well, let's have the first thing Yuri say practically destroyed the rest of the third-person genre.
Cover mechanic, right?
There's plenty more where this came from. Yuri is so fast that he can dodge random gunfire. He's so skilled he can instantly kill random mooks without batting an eye, can use various explosives and firearms, and can grind down various rails, roof edges, wires, and up a roller coaster. As you can tell, the biggest reason I'm getting an Xbox One is for this game. Not just for the insane zombie slaying combat or comic book style effects, but for the fact that Yuri Lowenthal not only decimates the fourth wall, but bends it over and uses his light switches as fuck handles.
I think it's time to give Microsoft some slack, guys. They're not complete screw-ups.
So what can be so hype-worthy to top everything else? Well, this has to be a game that fans of the series have been waiting for far too long. Jokes have been made, memes have been spawned, speculations rose through the roof, all because the developers for this franchise were just a little off schedule. And now that this game, or these games, are official, you can take a wild guess how fans are feeling. Okay, enough beating around the bush. It's Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Surprised? Why? We have been waiting for this game for about 3 years now. The thought about Game Freak re-releasing our childhood in any form at the time would be mind-blowing. And now that they've been announcing Glorious 3D, I still can't believe what I'm seeing. More often than not, Game Freak releases remakes for older games for 2 reasons. Not only to apply the current graphics and mechanics to older titles for newer audiences, but to keep the overall charm for older generations. So, what are the newest features added from X and Y to Gen 3? Well, they aren't really new per se, but rather the old have been upgraded to fit in with the new. For one, we have 4 new Mega Evolutions. We have Mega Diancie, for some reason, Mega Sableye, can't wait to see how broken this is, Mega Sceptile, Grass Dragon, enough said, and Mega Swampert. He lifts!
Yes, but I doubt you lift.
Also, Team Magma and Team Aqua have updated designs. For some reason, they made Tabitha look like Tierno, but regardless, I like the designs of Maxie and Archie either way. Maxie looks like a scientist, reflecting on the scenery for the stuff in their hideouts, and Archie's a black pirate?
You're our favorite indeed. Being a pirate is a rented thing. Do what you want because a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
Lastly, if you look at the box art, you notice that Ground and Kyogre look a little different. Well, that's because these forms are called primal evolutions, which reverts them to a state in a previous time. This might sound like a downgrade, but we'll see. Now I know what you're thinking. How can a game that we know little about suddenly climb to the top of your list? Here's the thing. One of the biggest reasons why people, including myself, are excited for video games is that, well, who knows what direction developers will take. And here is far beyond an exception. Pokemon remakes have been known for taking aspects from previous titles and upgrading not only the aesthetics, but gameplay mechanics as well. And I'm beyond excited for what direction Game Freak will take with these remastering old titles. Who knows how the hot tub in Lava Ridge Town will look? Who knows how Team Magma and Aqua will discover the primal evolutions? Who freaking knows how the secret bases will look and play out? You can call me nostalgically blind, but come on, I'm sure anyone who has played the original games can see where I'm coming from. I know, I kind of promised a second money rant, believe me, that was detected on cliffhanger from last time, but honestly, I can't go with devoting part of my old humor here. At this point, Nintendo is the established dominating force of gaming, so exaggerating how rich they are would just be pointless.
To me, Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire will be more than just games. They'll be a reminder of how much we loved Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire by modernizing aspects of the game into something that we will love even more, while still keeping the major aspect we all loved before, in that it will be fun. The memories we've had before, obtaining the badges of Hoenn, defeating Team Magma and Team Aqua, going face to face with the strongest Pokemon and Pokemon trainers, they'll keep the original charm they had before, but making it fresh and polished for the current generation. And if those aren't the signs of what makes us excited for games, then I don't know what will. I've been the Digital Pioneer, and I think it'll be common said that I think Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire will be phenomenally acclaimed games. Unless people think it's cool to hate them.
いくつもの線は円になって全てつなげ